Good morning. This is Barry Bryson, thanking you for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word. And we finished up our introduction of the New Testament books yesterday, and you may wonder what we're going to be doing now. Well, I thought we might encounter Jesus, by which I mean looking through the Gospels and the book of Acts and looking at people who encounter Jesus and getting to know him through their eyes and through these encounters. And I want us to begin in the Gospel of John, and I want us to begin by talking about the women that Jesus encounters in the Gospel of John. When we introduced John's Gospel a few weeks ago, we talked about the fact that it is an old man's Gospel, that John is certainly the last surviving eyewitness, perhaps the last surviving member of that first generation of Christians to be alive at the end of the first century. And he gives us so many details that flesh out what we already know. Allows us to meet people like Nicodemus and the woman at the well and the woman taken in adultery and the man in John chapter 9, the blind man that Jesus heals, and lets us see events that we haven't even known of before, like the raising of Lazarus, which really is the climax of Jesus' public ministry. And we also mentioned about the Gospel of John when we introduced it, that in John's Gospel, we get to know the women disciples so much better than we have before. And so I want to spend some time introducing the women that we get to meet in John's Gospel. In John's Gospel, we are introduced to women that we really haven't met before, like the woman at the well, the woman taken in adultery, those that we have already met, like Mary, his mother, Mary Magdalene, and Mary and Martha, the sisters of Bethany. A lot of Marys, it was a popular name of the day. And we really get to know them. And I want us to think about Jesus encountering these women for several reasons. One is these are significant and deep conversations that he has with them. Jesus looks every one of these women squarely in the eye and speaks to them as if they know exactly what he's talking about and are able to converse with him about spiritual things. This is not what a rabbi of his day would have done at all to any woman, a woman in their family, a woman that they met on the street, and certainly not to a woman who was a Samaritan, but Jesus does. And they respond in kind. We're going to find in these women the most complete confession of faith that any disciple ever makes. The first person to see the risen Lord is a woman. The first person to whom the Lord reveals himself as the Messiah is a woman. We're going to look at these examples because Jesus is really sort of portrayed as a knight in shining armor who comes to the rescue of these women, not because they're weak or unintelligent, but because of the way society has treated them. Over and over again, Jesus will stand between these wonderful, strong, intelligent women and a society that has aligned itself against them. We'll see that happen. And we also will see Jesus be a guy. I don't just mean a human, but I mean a man, because Jesus encounters these women as a human man, and we get to see him be a guy in ways that will be so recognizable to guys everywhere. We'll see him deal with his mother as an adult man, and fulfill his responsibilities to her, even when that is difficult. We'll see him cause pain to women that he cares about and be unable to keep from doing that. We'll see him want to fix things as quickly as possible, especially when they cry. We'll see that happen, and we'll be able to know him so much better because of his encounters. And so tomorrow, we'll start our larger series, Encounters with Jesus, by looking at the encounters Jesus has with women in John's Gospel. Tomorrow, we'll go to John chapter 2 and talk about Jesus and the wedding at Cana in Galilee, Jesus and his mother. Thank you for joining me for 5 good minutes today. We look forward to joining you again tomorrow.